Welcome to another edition of Mike and Scott's BS Session, home of the latest news in the bass fishing industry. So pull up a chair and get ready. This is not your mama's fishing show. Okay, enough of the blah, blah, blah. Here's Mike and Scott.
Just in the nick of time.
That was as close as we've been, I think. Without being late.
Without being late. That was perfect, as a matter of fact.
It was.
I mean, you couldn't ask for better than that.
Yeah,
we dialed in.
We could have found an easier way to do it.
Yeah, well, maybe one day. We're thriving to get better.
To beat technology.
Yeah. Maybe.
If you guys are wondering what we're talking about, we dialed in to get the show going and get the switchboard going and everything. Scotty's going to open up the chat while I'm telling you this story.
Yeah. And they told us that
don't
all
push the
lines...
broadcast. Actually, don't open any chat or anything like that because we're pre-recording this show.
Oh, well, I open it up.
It's okay, whatever. So we dial in to get the switchboard open and it tells us something like the number's blocked or something weird. So we're looking at each other saying, "Oh no!"
Yeah, well, we don't have another number.
We don't have a number to dial. It's giving us all these funky messages. So we just redialed again the same number and we got in with 3 seconds. 3 seconds.
Yeah, 3 seconds.
Well, 3 seconds to go before the show started. So thank God
we did it.
We did it again. Wow, another show. Crazy show.
Yeah. The summers have got blown by.
It is blowing by.
It went from,
literally.
It's tournament season's about to start to,
tournament season's
about to end.
That's about to end. And some of the big shows are coming up. We just had a couple go by. And the couple that did go by, we're fortunate tonight to have one of the stars of one of those huge monster events with us tonight by the name of Jacob Wheeler. And there are some other ones coming up that we're going to be very close to, namely the Berkeley B1, and we're also going to have hopefully some other guests in from the Forest Wood Cup in the coming shows. So keep an eye on our schedule. Speaking of some big events, we want to send out a big congrats to Brandon Planiak for his win at the Bassmaster Elite Northern Open. On the St. Lawrence River out of Washington, New York. He won $100K and automatic berth. Yeah, automatic berth into the 2014.
Well, he wouldn't have, I don't think he was going to make the Classic.
No, that's right.
Otherwise.
He's got the automatic berth now into the 2014 Bassmaster Classic event, and it'll be his fourth time to the dance.
Yeah, in 4 years.
In 4 years. Like, that is nuts.
Yeah, the kid's on fire.
The kid is just on fire, all right? So hopefully he can win this one. As you know, he finished second to Cliff Pace at this year's event by just over 3 pounds, making his take home from that $45K versus $500K.
I hear you.
So it's a sting.
It is.
Second place is a sting.
It is. It's a big difference.
Yeah.
But like anything, there can only be one winner, right?
Oh no, for sure. And
truly,
Cliff Pace fished an amazing tournament.
Yeah, he did.
You know, he fished an amazing tournament. Planiak, everyone was cheering for him. A young guy, in there looking for a big win. Came up a little bit short, 3 pounds, a little bit over 3 pounds. Cliff Pace hung in there and did what he had to do on the last day. And
yeah,
that's the toughest one,
was
right?
Also in the
running. There was a whole bunch of guys within shooting distance, right, of Cliff. And but he held on to take home the win of the $500K. Also, we've got the Bassmaster Elite Series Championship going on in Lake St. Clair, Lake Erie, or in the Detroit River.
Going on right now.
Right, yeah, in Detroit,
started
Michigan,
yesterday,
right?
Or no, today.
Today.
Yeah,
today was the first day. Power Pole Pro Chris Lane is in the number 1
spot.
Yeah.
A Southern boy on a northern lake.
On a northern lake, 22 pounds and 9 ounces today. Get him in the first place. Then we've got another Lowrance Pro, Mark Davis, in second spot at 22 pounds and 1. Aaron Martins, 21.14. Mike Simonton at 21.2. And then we've got Koto Kiriyama with a tie for 5th place with Lowrance Pro Brandon Planiak, my friend. Planiak is back in the money again. You know,
he loves these smallmouth, apparently.
Oh, he's a smallmouth guy. It's shaping up that this guy can really go after.
Well, listen, if you can catch him on Lake Ontario,
yeah,
you can catch him on Lake Erie.
You can catch him on Lake Erie, yeah, definitely. So Planiak in there tied with Kiriyama at 20 pounds 7 ounces. So he is within 2 pounds 2 ounces of the lead and Mr. Lane. So
just out of curiosity, where's Jonathan Van Dam in the standings? He did pretty well on the St. Lawrence River.
Yeah, he did. I didn't look down far enough. If we can pull it up, I might have it up here. Let me take a look.
Do you have it close by?
Yeah, here it is. It's the 2000 Elite. And let's see for result. There's a leaderboard. Okay, see
current standings. Yeah.
Current standings. So here we go. And Van Dam, where is he? We're going down the list. Ooh. He's 42nd at 15-11.
Okay.
Yeah, 5 fish for 15-11 for Jonathan Van Dam. You got Hackney there. There's Bobby Lane, Chris Lane, obviously.
Where? At what point do the weights drop off? Actually, it's a pretty steady decline.
It looks pretty steady, yeah. It doesn't, like, you don't have, like, the top 10 guys, and then all of a sudden it goes, you know, within 10 guys following that, you lose 10 pounds. You know what I mean? It's pretty consistent. Right now, first place is at 22.9, and I look down, and you've got 10th place at 19.10. So, you know, it's gradual.
Yeah, it's pretty gradual.
It's gradual. So, you know,
it means that there's fish to be caught, and
yeah. There's lots of fish. Look, there's 5 fish, all
the way down the list. Huh?
Basically, until you get down to 85th spot. Or 77th was the first one to show up with only 4 fish. Now we're assuming there could be it could be a dead fish there for Timmy Horton. I don't know.
Who knows? Yeah,
right.
Who knows?
So, but I mean, if you look, there's 5 fish.
It could be also weather. Weather. You know, it was pretty windy for us where we are.
Yeah.
I can only imagine. I mean, Lake Erie is east of us or west of us.
Yes.
It could have been windy also over there. I don't know.
It could very well have been very windy. I mean, this is the time of the year where the wind starts to pick up, right? And it starts to shift from the southwest. You're going to start getting some northeast wind, right?
Northeast is the worst.
And they're
the
worst ones to have. But, I mean, after what Palaniuk did on the Red River and some of the weather that they hit them there, I don't think there's much you're going to be able to throw at this kid that's going to discourage him.
Yeah. On Lake Ontario.
Yeah, Lake Ontario.
He was driving 6-footers.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like, all the pictures I saw of him, his trolling motor was 3 feet out of the water.
Yeah.
It was nuts.
Apparently, he put a beating on the boat.
Oh, he put a pounding on the boat, and but this kid at that tournament, all the feedback I got from guys that were out there watching him and talking to him, this kid is mastering the drop shot. He is really getting warm and fuzzy with that drop shot.
He won the last Bassmasters Open
with the drop shot. Yeah, he is really getting good. So when it comes to deep water fishing, this kid's going to be a force to reckon with. There's no doubt. And you look at the names like here. The top 10, Scotty, and you know Howell, Coombs,
it's all
Pace, Palania, Kiriyama, Simonton, Martins. They're all the big names.
It was an open.
It was an open. Yes.
Did Ken Galoob do this one?
No, I don't think Galoob did it. No, I think he was guiding. Kenny was guiding during this one. He didn't make it. He's just got the schedule for 2014, and he's cashed checks on 5 of the 6 lakes that are scheduled,
really good.
Which is really good.
Yeah.
So I told him
better than most.
Yeah, I hit him up on Facebook. I said, "Get your hiney in there, buddy, and let's follow you next year and get some good interviews with you on the show, right?"
Yeah.
So there's quite the field. It looks like 98 teams or 100 teams roughly in this one. But it's shaping up to be a good one with Chris Lane, as we said, from Guntersville, Alabama.
Yeah, well, how did Ish do so far on this one? Was he in this one?
There
he is. 24th.
24th.
Decent bag. Yeah. Almost 17 pounds.
Almost 17 pounds. So Ish is in there fighting, which is good. It's only day one, right? I mean, guys are getting their game on, and they're going to be there's going to be some movement in the standings for sure over the next couple of days.
You gotta stop drinking while we're doing the show.
Yeah, there's coffee you give me.
Coffee?
Yeah.
That's not coffee. That's pure cognac.
Oh yeah, it's pure. Yeah,
pure
cognac. They're boozing it up on the show.
It wouldn't be the first time.
Okay. So, yeah. So let's go. Mr. Lane.
So what's happening locally? Tell me.
Locally, big news. Big news. The Econo Bass regular season is done.
Yep.
Phil Lefebvre, Alexis Marchand. Do you know this guy?
I
think you should know this guy.
I think I do.
You might have met this guy.
Yeah, I do. He's a Bass Cat guy.
Really?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, he's running my boat.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah, well, it's not my boat. It's his boat now.
Really? Yeah?
Yeah. But he picked up my Bass Cat, my 2013, and he put it to good use. Put it to better use than me.
Well, he filled that live well a few times.
Yeah, he did, and he won Angler of the Year for Econobass. So congratulations to Phil.
Yeah.
And his buddy.
Alexis,
Alexis, yeah.
Impressive. First season in Econobass.
Yeah, rookies.
Clean
rookies.
It up.
Yeah.
Smack.
They took it all.
Oh.
With a decent lead, too.
Oh, yeah. I think they were, 5 or 6 pounds ahead of everybody.
Yeah, they had a 5-pound lead
with
going
the last
into
day.
the final tournament.
Yeah, so it was a question, just go and catch 5 fish.
And they did.
Yeah.
They
got 5 fish.
They got 15 pounds.
15 pounds.
Very steady weight. They were very, very consistent throughout the year.
Very consistent.
And that's the one thing that proves to you that consistency pays.
Oh, yeah,
it does.
Sure.
They didn't get a win.
No, but over time, it pays.
That's what it does.
I don't know what it pays in Econobass.
It doesn't pay very much.
I don't know.
It's the prestige.
It's the prestige.
Hey, we're not fishing for hundreds of thousands of dollars here.
Hundreds and hundreds, almost 5,000.
We're fishing for 500.
That's
Econobass.
Right. It's 500. Okay.
No, but listen, it's a great series. Econobass is the number one series.
Right now, it's a series with the most boats in Quebec.
In Quebec. Other than the B1, but it's a series.
That's an open.
Again, it's a series.
It's an open versus series. So yes, congratulations to Alexis and Phil for the Team of the Year. And I want to throw out a special mention on this show to Anthony the Bagel Badham.
The Bagel?
Yeah, the Bagel.
When did he get that name?
Well, he got that name when we went to fish the canals.
He brought you some bagels? Or what?
Well, what's in the middle of a bagel? Let's just not go there.
The hole? The donut.
No, that's a... Well...
With a hole, like zero, nothing.
I'm just going to give him a nickname, the Bagel.
Okay.
I'll just leave it at that. And
so that's like an internal
It's
nickname.
like an inside joke,
Yeah,
sort of thing. I'll let you
It's not anymore.
No. Well, between me and you and
now
whoever listens to this.
There's a couple thousand people that are aware.
Well, I just want to let you know that the Bagel and Dom Laviolette, they did an amazing comeback over the year over this year with Econobass because they were like in 46th position.
Yeah.
They were way out of it. And they finished in second place.
I think they finished in second place also at the Econobass tournament on Lake Ottawa River.
I think they did.
Yeah, second place.
And that's what got them second place overall.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
and they did not have a full bag on the Richelieu.
Oh, really? Okay.
So over and above all those odds, that team of Bagel Badham and Laviolette came back to finish just behind Phil and Alexis for Team of the Year. So that's an amazing charge to the front to finish second. Came up a little short, but maybe a fish or two on the Richelieu River would have gotten them over the hump. But nevertheless, it was a great season. They did really well, and so did Alexis and Phil. So congratulations to both of these teams. Now it's off to the Classic in the world famous Laliev on the 31st of August to the 1st of September. Good luck to all of the guys that are out there fishing it, all the guys from the Econobass, and maybe we'll have the winner from the Classic on the show.
Sounds good to me.
We'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
But it was a great, it was a really good season.
We'll see who can put it together.
Yeah, we'll see who can get it together on that day, right?
I don't know why they do it on the Liev though. I mean, that's such a.
Well, that's like what's the name of that river that I think it's the Bassmaster fishes? Where is it? Kentucky Lake?
Sometimes small fishes in
tiny
Pittsburgh.
fish.
No, dude.
Is it Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a couple lakes that really don't produce.
When you're getting
very good numbers.
When you're getting like a 11, 12 pound bag,
like Lake Oneida.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
Eesh.
Especially.
Don't even go.
Some guys had like really small. On Lake Oneida.
Yeah.
Whereas in Oneida Lake.
Let's call it whatever you want to call it, right?
Well, you've got other things.
I'm trying to call it a distant memory.
You were calling it other things.
Yeah, I called it all kinds of names.
Yeah,
they weren't Oneida. They didn't start with O.
They didn't start with O. No, they didn't start with O. Start with Oh no. Yeah. Oh no, Lake. Oh no, not again. Yeah, I should be calling you Bagel Nagy. But no, there are some bodies of water, like you said, that I guess for numbers or weight, they're not very impressive. I'm hoping this year at the B1 that we finally get that 30-pound bag coming on scale. That's what I'm hoping.
At the B1?
Yeah.
It could happen.
I'm hoping we get it. All I know right now,
I think
as
it's tough because there's just so much pressure.
The water right now is full of boats. It's full of boats. I'm getting people telling me they're going out fishing there. There's boats everywhere. So obviously the guys have started fishing early. I know the Pro Bass is this week.
Yeah, I'm doing it, as a matter of fact.
You're doing it with good friend Denny Andrade?
No, Denny Andre's doing it.
Oh, okay.
He's fishing it with Bruce.
With Bruce, okay, and you're fishing
I'm fishing it with Philippe Lefebvre. The
angler
of
that is so lame. That is so lame. Well, I'm fishing it too with Kevin Van Dam and Brandon Polaniak. And
you're fishing it with a net, right? One of those big bottom scrapers.
Yeah. And a stick of dynamite. That's I'm going out, just scooping them up. But that's on there this weekend. There's guys in that area also practicing for the B1. There's guys in town for that. And there's just a lot of action going on the water. So things are busy around locally. We also had the winners of the hold on, let me take a look. Hold on, folks. We are just going to go look at the Ripple results. And
which Ripple?
The last one.
Oh, okay.
Where was that one?
The Richelieu.
Was it? Yeah, it was a Richelieu, right?
Yeah.
And on the Richelieu, who won the Richelieu? Do you remember?
I don't know.
You don't remember?
No.
Okay, hold on.
I don't remember.
Let me just check this. Richelieu results. That was the St. Croix Ripple. Thank you very much to all the boys in St. Croix. Here's the registration, and now we'll just go and look for the results. While we're doing that, the Richelieu this year has been fishing uncharacteristically terrible. Well, I wouldn't say terrible, but tough. It's a tough fish, right? Then it usually fishes around this area. So, guys, I mean, the weigh-in was good. The guys brought some good fish back, but it was not as impressive as last year when we had over 3 fish over 6 pounds weighed in at that Ripple. Let me just take a look here. The Rod Glove sign up. Rod Glove Ripple. That's Bear. Anyone wondering what that noise is in the background? Bear,
those are those people we have tied up in there.
Bear was out in the rain, and now he's in here, and he's
rolling on my rug.
Rolling all over the place. So the winner of that Ripple was Fred Vachon and Stéphane Lapointe.
Oh, right. That's
right. 12.6. This is all for 3 fish, folks. 12.6 for 3 fish, and they had the first place lunker at 4.7. So as I said, not as such an impressive weight as it was the previous year when we had 3 6-pound fish weighed in for the lunker. Dom Lavoie and Jonathan Carrier for second place.
Last year it was 18 pounds?
No. There was 3 fish for the lunker.
Okay, for the lunker.
Yeah, over 6 pounds.
But that's pretty much the...
And I think it was 14 and change that won it.
Really?
Yeah, 3 fish. So we had, like I said, Dom Lavoie, John Carrier, Daniel Ponton, Michel Ferland. That was Daniel Ponton, or Michel Ferland's first tournament.
Okay.
Very nice, finished in 3rd. And Max Laguepa and Joe Laguepa at 8.55 in 4th. And in 5th, Matthew Easterbrook with Michael Parkinson at 7.8. That was a top 5. So we had we had a whack of teams. It was great. We had a ton of prizing from St. Croix, which is nice to have. And everybody had a great time at the Pouvoirie Guy Maillet, which is an outfitter there. And Guy always makes the boiled corn on the cob for us when the tournament's over. So everybody ate till they stank after that one.
That's not good.
It was not good. It was good.
It was good, but it wasn't good.
Did you?
I sent them off a message.
Right.
We'll see.
Good stuff. We can look at also some of the stuff that's coming up on September 8th on Bay of Missisquoi. We've got the final Ripple for the 2013 season. That's in the firm schedule for Fishing Canada. That's going to go on Bay of Missisquoi. You can get signed up for that one on fishingcanada.net. And then the motherlode of events is the Rumble. I think it's the 7th or 8th year we've done this event. This one's on Lake St. Francis, October 12th, out of Grays Creek. Yeah, Grays Creek, which is just past Lancaster, right? Grays Creek?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like 10 minutes.
10 minutes? 10 minutes past Lancaster, just past the Raisin River.
That's actually a beautiful ramp. I launched there all the time.
I love that ramp.
Yeah.
It's great. Especially in the fall, it's closed, right? There's nobody there.
Well, basically, no. The marina's empty.
It's empty.
Yeah.
And you can like go in and out as you please, and it's hidden.
I think it still costs $5 though, or something.
Yeah, I think you put $5 on the box or whatever.
For parking. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's in a back bay, so if the weather's no good, you just hunk in there and you're good to go. So that's October 12th. That's always a huge event with a ton of boats that show up for that one, especially in the fall on that body of water. After the B1, everybody sort of lets their hair down and we just go and have a ball at this thing. So get yourself signed up on fishingcanada.net. That's October 12th. That was on Lake St. Francis. Then we have, as I said, September 8th on Bay Missisquoi coming up also, so you can get yourself signed up for that one also. And that's what's coming up so far in the coming weeks. So you've got the B1 in September.
Yep.
We've got...
which I'm sure a lot of people are already getting ready for.
Over 150 teams.
There's over 150 teams.
Over 150 teams.
It's, it's an amazing fishery, but when it's under pressure like this, I think things change a lot. And
for sure. For sure. For sure.
Spots that were good yesterday aren't necessarily good today.
Yeah.
And so on and so forth. So the more that time goes on, I think... the
tougher it's going to get.
Yeah.
The tougher it's going to get.
I think so. That's why that 30-pound bag might be a little bit tough. We'll see how fall transition plays a factor into all of this.
Well, it's one of the few bodies of water from, if you look at this year, if you look at Long Sault, Morrisburg, Cornwall, all of those areas up that way on the St. Lawrence system have been fishing well all year.
Right.
The lower part of the river and system have not been fishing well. So for some reason, that part of the river started off with a bang, with a couple of series that kicked off on Morrisburg, and the weights were just insane.
Well, I think they caught it in the spawning season.
Yeah.
They were on beds still.
And then it just kept going. Like the fish were big, and it just kept going. Then you had other bodies of water that run off there, Lake St. Louis, where this year it's like fizzled in comparison to previous years, right?
Well, I know we did a tournament for Pro Bass on Lake St. Louis, and normally you would think the big smallmouth would come in. Yeah. It was one with largemouth.
There you go. So something on the lower part of the river is just not clicking this year. It's been an off year for the lower part, but the upper part has been really fishing well. Lake St. Louis has been slow. I haven't seen a 5-pound fish at Lake St. Louis yet this year.
Really?
Yep, not one.
I haven't fished it since, but it's not my favorite body of water.
Yeah, I know that.
There's a lot of rocks.
You think there's rocks everywhere, right?
Yeah, there are rocks everywhere. I don't think. I know.
You know?
I know.
Okay. You have some shell shock issues.
Good thing Maple Grove Marine is right close by.
It's close. It's close. Yeah, it's close. So that's been fishing tough. The Richelieu River's been fishing tough. That end of Lake Champlain that touches the Richelieu has been fishing tough. So it's almost like everything, south of Cornwall is in a tough way, and east of Cornwall is in a tough way. So hopefully the B1 this year we're going to have some big fishies. And we get the record sign up this year, so over 150 teams, and
and we're not even there yet.
We're not there yet. We still got another month at least. So
the last 2 weeks you get
usually get a rush.
Yeah,
there's usually a rush of guys to get in there. Any sign of Jacob?
No, not yet.
Where is that little whippersnipper?
I don't know.
A little whippersnipper. The snipper whipper.
Didn't get our message back yet. So, and there he is.
Oh, there we go.
Speak of the devil.
Well, I'll do a quick intro here of Mr. Jacob Curtis Wheeler, hometown Indianapolis, Indiana, born on September 18th, 1990. He's almost young enough to be your son.
Hey, he's young enough to be your grandson.
Scotty.
Easy.
Yeah. His angling hero is Edwin Evers, and because of Evers, we're obviously well known for his versatility. His favorite lake is Lake Champlain. Way to go, Jacob. That's ours too, because you can catch him any way you want. And he's right. His favorite fishing technique is topwater, and his strength is power fishing. Wow, so many of the guys that are fishing at that level of power fishing.
So many guys at the top of the game, it's all about power fishing.
It's all about chucking baits, right? His second strength that he has in here, anyway, skipping docks, and his biggest weakness is big, clear lakes. Boy, you're going to bring up the Lake St. Francis. Clear.
Yeah.
And, yes, he does run an E-Tech.
He does.
He's
a very, the best motor on the market.
He's a very.
So let's bring on Jacob.
Very, very smart young man. So we will now bring him on here. Mr. Wheeler, how are you tonight?
I'm doing wonderful. Actually, I was out on the lake, and I just was catching a couple bass.
We're envious.
You had to add that in, eh, Jacob?
Yeah. Rub it in a little bit.
Well, yeah, I knew we had that. We were gonna start about 7:30, and a buddy of mine called me up. He's like, "Hey," he's like, "You want to fish this tournament?" And I'm like, no, okay. So I'm out here cranking while we're talking. We're gonna make it happen, right? Like the real way.
You know something, Jacob? You did the right thing. You can't say no to anyone asking you to fish a tournament.
That's exactly right. I mean, when you get that opportunity, I was like, hey, it's always fun when you get out on the water and you get to fish a little bit longer. And I'm just, as much as I fish, I still like to fish even more.
So that's amazing. So even despite the fact that you fish the entire tour and whatever other opens and tournaments, you still have fun to go just fun fishing and fish like other tournaments also.
Yeah, like little Thursday nighters. I come up here and I hang out with all my buddies. It's actually my getaway. Since, believe it or not, I sort of like fishing is like my passion. But like going out here in little team tournaments and stuff like that, it's always fun. For me, it's always been fun, and that's what I love to do. So getting out here on the water and being able to, make a lot of cash and have a lot of fun regardless. It's a pressure, a lot of pressure off of myself for the fact that, when I'm out there fishing professionally out there on the FLW Tour or in the Bass Opens, you have to catch them. You get a lot of money riding on the line. And in this stuff, you throw $40 in the hat and, whoever has the best night wins.
Really? That's great to hear.
Not as much high stakes, you know what I'm saying?
But at the level you fish, do you give your friends like a...
Do you handicap it? Yeah, do you handicap it?
Well, see, they're so good on this lake. A lot of our bodies of water are fairly small, so everybody knows the same stuff. So it makes it to where, on bigger bodies of water, it would make a difference. But I feel like, they don't mind. They like to take a chance and sort of try to run out there and try to win. And I haven't been on this body of water for 2 months. I had no idea what was going to go on.
Okay.
You sort of guess. You just sort of guess and keep going.
Yeah, I got a funny feeling, though, that it didn't take you long to figure it out. So Jacob, listen, I just read your birth date here. Is 1990 a typo?
1990 is not a typo.
Holy
I am 22. I am 22 as of right now, and I will be 23 this September 18th.
That is just nuts. Being that young, Jacob, when you get out and you fish, like the Forest Wood Cup or at that level against all the greats in this sport, what's it like when you're that young? Like, are you intimidated by these guys? How do they make you feel? Do they welcome you into that club, that boys club, or do you really feel like you got to go out there and prove yourself, and they're not about to give you any hand?
I think that you always have to prove yourself. You're only as good as your last tournament. That sort of motivates me to do well in every single tournament. You can win Bass Masters Classic, you win Forest Wood Cups, and no one can take that title away from you. But for me personally, it's all about that last tournament and trying to do better and always try to become a better angler. My peers, they definitely, it's something you have to earn. You're not given respect. And, even though I won the cup in my rookie year, it's still something that you have to learn to, there's a lot of respect to be earned. It is, it's not only fishing ability, it's respect on and off the water. And that's the big thing. I think it's something you earn with time. These guys have been out here for so many years. They're so great at what they do. Your Larry Nixons, your Jay Ellis's, your David W. These guys have always caught them. They continue to catch them, and they continue to catch them at such a high level.
Right.
So it takes some time. Of course, I think I have a lot of respect. They have a lot of respect for me, and I have a lot of respect for them. But the fact is, it just takes some time, for sure.
So what are some of the challenges that you face as being, kind of like a new guy, yet a very well-established guy, but still the new guy on the tour?
Yeah, I mean, I think that a lot of it is you just sort of, I don't know if there's a lot of challenges. I think if you get caught up with worrying about who you're fishing against, that will kill you on tour. I think that's the reason I did well in my first year. Of course, I respected the guys, and of course, I looked up to the guys, and a lot of them were my idols from watching when I was really little. But you had to go out there and act like it was a little small Thursday night tournament like tonight. You have to act like, hey, it's just a bass. You got to go out there and catch them, and regardless, of what they do, you got to still do your job and catch the fish. So I think that was the biggest thing that helped me in my rookie season, was the fact that I could just focus on fishing and focus on catching them rather than worrying about who I was fishing against. Right.
Well, great. So, you got your big break into the big show. Most of us know that you won the Forrest Cup. But, I read a little bit about your story and you moving. How did that go down? Like, what did you do to make that happen? I mean, it seems as though you orchestrated it and you put 100% effort, and it just came to fruition. Like, how did that go down?
As far as the Forrest Cup?
Yeah, the Forrest Cup that you won in 2012.
Yeah, the Cup was just something that, you had to spend a lot of time down there. I knew, drop shotting spots was not necessarily my number one, I wasn't necessarily hip on it. I didn't know everything about it, catching them really deep. Deep wet bottles were suspended and over the timber. So I wanted to try to practice and pre-practice and find ways that I could catch them that I was sort of used to and that I knew, what I knew really well. And river fishing's always been a very big strength of mine, understanding the shallow water and any kind of current. And so I said, okay, well, knowing that a fellow friend of mine out the throw, Bass National Elite Series angler now, in a Cup 2 or 3 years prior, ran up in the Chattahoochee with a tunnel haul. And he was running a lot further up, but the water's a lot further down now. So I wanted to go check it out, and I went down there and ran my buddy of mine's jet boat, borrowed a jet boat, brought my big boat also, so I could check out the lake, and sort of figured out what I really wanted to see. There was a lot of current up there, there's a lot of spotted bass, and a lot of bites. And that's it was a really tough fishery. Lanier was in August, and it was something that I felt like, man, I could definitely be able to go up there and catch a few fish and probably do well in the tournament just from up there. If I can just dial something in on these largemouth down the lower end, and figure out what they're doing, it could be a 1-2 punch and make this thing, a big deal.
So going into that tournament, you felt as though you had a good game plan and a good chance at winning it?
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't know about winning it. You don't necessarily go into a tournament thinking you can win it all the time. You feel like you can do well, and then if it's your tournament to win, it's meant to be. You're going to get the bites and you're going to capitalize on them, and everything's going to happen right. So happened. I figured I could make a top. I figured when I was on, I felt like I could do well and probably make a top 10 if everything went right. And that first day of the tournament, it was unbelievable. It was the best day I ever had on the water. It's like there's very few times when you actually hit perfection on the water. It could be minutes, it could be seconds, it could be an hour, it can be a half a day or a full day even. And hit perfection where you're doing everything right, every cast you make's right, everything you do is right. And it seemed like that full day was just every decision I made, every cast I made, it was precise on, and the fish it seemed like I couldn't make a wrong decision. And that's very, very seldom does that happen in the world of bass fishing. It just doesn't happen very often. And it did that day. I came in with, the biggest sack of the tournament with almost 22 pounds, and I'm going into the last day, or going into the next day leading by 6 pounds, or I think it was 6 pounds almost. So, I mean, something like that happened. It's pretty crazy.
Well, that kind of brings back something. I saw an interview with you, I think, last week before the Forrest Cup, and you had said that on the Red River, I think you said if the guy who gets the big bag on day one has a great chance at winning the tournament. Yeah. I think eventually that's what happened, right?
That's what happened, yeah.
That's exactly what happened. I knew for a fact the guy who got the biggest bag of the tournament would win the tournament, more than likely. If not, he'd probably be top 3, but I still felt like, it just felt like to me that it was one of those lakes. It's such a tough fishery, the Red River, at this time of year, that if you had to, if I looked at it, there's a lot of big ones in there, but they're so hard to catch, and they're hard to catch consistently. And the problem is, that's the really big problem with the Red River. You saw a lot of the guys' weights going up and down and going down further, and then they catch a good bag, they catch a couple of big fish, and all of a sudden they're back up to where they need to be. But, that's exactly what happened. Brian Thrift and Randall Tharp, they both caught really good bags the first day. They came out of there swinging and had a 18-something pound bag the first day.
Right.
Well, it was a great finish, Jacob, in that tournament. You performed incredibly well. Your pre-fish, you went through your pre-fish. Were your tournament results consistent with your pre-fish, or did you have to change your game plan into the tournament, or did the pre-fish pattern that you found hold?
Truthfully, no. I mean, in pre-practice, I really didn't have that great of pre-practice. I'm going to tell you the truth. I went out, I caught a few fish, I looked at a lot of the areas, but there was no sense in me dialing in. I felt like there was enough bites in pool 5. We had a choice of either going to pool 5, 4, or 3. And so with that being said, I decided, I said, look, I'm going to spend I went and spent a day morning in 3, which is a long run. That was, giving us only 2 or 3 hours with the locking time and everything, to fish. So it didn't make sense. I didn't see what I wanted to see down there. Went to pool 4, and I spent quite a bit of time down there fishing those backwaters, because the backwaters was the way to get the bigger bites for the most part. And a lot of people knew that. And so I went in the 4, and I really never dialed them in 4. I spent a lot of time in there, and I never really figured out, punched a lot of grass. There was a lot of vegetation. And so I didn't really feel like it was going to happen in 4 either. So I said, I never found what I felt like I needed to see to catch those right fish and do well in the tournament. So I said, hey, I'm going to maximize my time on the fish in 5. And so I spent 2 days of practice, or pre-practice, in 5. And so I knew after those 2 days of pre-practice, I caught about 7 run-down bags on the main river, and I caught a couple of decent ones in the backwater. And then I caught another decent bag, and it wasn't great, nothing great, but it just clued me in. As soon as I catch a couple fish, I'd leave an area. There was no reason for me to go try to dial them in, 3 weeks ahead of time when I'll try to dial them in the tournament. They might not be there. They might have moved, a half a mile away or, a couple 100 yards away, and so there's no reason to really try to dial that in, and that's what I did. It was something more looking around. The purpose of the pre-practice was more looking around than anything.
So that's an interesting point you just brought up, Jacob, and a question we get a lot from the local guys here is, and we emphasize the fact that a lot of tournaments are won or lost based on decision making and timely and good decisions during the day. What do you base your decisions on, whether to stick on a spot or leave? Do you have a time limit, or is it just an instinct and a feeling that you use?
It just really comes down to instinct and feeling. When you're fishing at your best, and it's all about instinct and feeling, and it could be 5 casts on a spot, it could be 100 casts on a spot, and make you feel like, oh, this is the spot I need to stay on. And if you have that gut feeling that there's a couple big ones there, and you just got to trigger them to bite, you might stay there. But most of the time, it's just timing, and it's just getting that feeling. For the cup, it was getting that feeling dialed in. I didn't know exactly how. I had a pretty good practice, and just trying to figure out when those fish bit and trying to decide when to stay and when to go. It's such a big part. The biggest part of fishing is all about decision making. It's like you can be on the winning bag of fish, but not make the right decisions and still lose. So that's a big key. That is such a big key. That's when you see the best guys. The best of the best are all great decision makers. That's exactly what they are.
Right. Yeah, I hear you. It's such a critical part of the game that you really can't teach. It's like you said, it's part instinct, it's part timing, it's that gut feeling, but you've got to make smart decisions on the water when you're there in the tournament. That's for sure. That very few of us are fortunate enough to make a living in this, fishing tournaments, Jacob. And a lot of the guys, especially our local guys here, they got other jobs. They make a living, working for all the companies that are around us. What would you have been doing? What was in the plans for Jacob Wheeler had you not become, the icon in the fishing industry so quickly as you have?
Well, the whole thing, my backup plan was definitely all about, my dad owned a construction business, and I knew that, and I knew how to put on siding, I knew how to put in windows. I knew all that stuff. And then I also knew I wanted to go to college. But before I went to college, before I went to do that, before I got into debt and I had all these student loans and everything else, I told my family, hey, I want to take an opportunity. I want to take this opportunity right when out of high school and try to fish professionally, or try to make it professionally. And it's sort of crazy because, you wouldn't think it happened that quick, obviously. I went and when I'm 18 or 19, I said I want to – wait 1 second, guys. Keeper. Sorry. I'm catching fish while we're talking. Sorry, that's a keeper. Right. We got to call that one out. So, anyway. No, but seriously, you never had this happen, have you? I'm telling you.
No, it's the first for everything.
I know. I'm sorry they're biting. This is like the last 20 minutes. I know they're going to bite. But anyway.
Hey, no, enjoy it. Hey, take it. Do what you got to do.
You're totally fine, but what I was saying was that it's really important that when I was younger, I decided I wanted to fish professionally, but I would ask my parents and say, hey, look, I know if I get into it and I want to go to college, but I don't want to get all these student loans and then try to make it professionally right after, what's the possibility, hey, just support me, let me stay at the house, let me try to pursue my dream of fishing. I'm going to borrow it, I'm going to fish BFLs next year, give me 2 years. And so, and then they said, that's fine. Yeah, of course, we'll support you with that. And the first year I fished my first BFL, I won that event. And so the first BFL I ever fished, borrowed boat, borrowed truck, and you win the event, and now now I had enough money to fish for the rest of the year, qualify for the regional, and ultimately qualified for the All-American, and then went on to win the All-American. So everything happened, back to back to back to back. I mean, there was definitely a reason it happened. I can't even explain how crazy it was. So it happened so quickly.
It's almost as if it was meant to be, and it's funny how you say, and if I look at my own, career in fishing always seemed to be the backup plan. But the first thing you said is your backup plan to becoming a tournament pro was construction. And I think I got mine. I think you're mixed up. I'm a little mixed up.
You took the construction. Jacob took the fishing.
But that's very impressive. So you put like 100% effort into this. This is what you wanted to do. This is your dream.
Everything that I had, all the time that I had, I wasn't even worried about. While everybody was out partying and having fun, I was thinking about tying lures, tying jigs on, and getting ready to go fishing for the next morning and fishing the event. And that's what I was worried about. That was what my life I was consumed with. I was like, I got to make it. I got to figure out how to make this thing happen. I know I can do it. Ever since I was ever since I was really little in first and second grade, that's all I wanted to do. It was never something that I deviated from. It was something that I always wanted to do when I was even really, really little. And that's what I never, how kids when they're like 7 and 8, I want to be or 6, and I want to be a fireman and all this stuff, and then later on they decide they want to do something else. Well, I said I want to be a fisherman, and I never deviated from that. I said that's what I want to do, and that's what I'm going to do.
And what were your primary influences? Like, that being said,
my
dad
got me. My biggest thing was, Dad got me started in fishing, but just seeing like Larry Nixon on TV and Roland Martin, all these guys growing up, and Kevin Van Dam this is when he was starting to dominate everything. This is something I was like, man, I got to do that. It's unbelievable. And then right around that time, when I was 11 and 12, everything started with the junior program stuff, all the junior programs and everything else around the states, and that started to become a big deal. And so then I started fishing in the junior programs, fishing against kids my own age and everything else, and along with fishing with my dad in their local club, they allowed me to, normally you had to be 16, but they allowed me to fish while I was like 13 or something. I was allowed to fish the tournaments, and they let me do that. So it was pretty awesome. The club definitely helped me a lot too, to be able to fish against some of those older guys that had a lot more experience, and I fished with them and I learned a lot. But I think the biggest thing is just constantly going and constantly fishing with a lot of people and learning, because at that time when you're young, you got to learn. You pick up everything that you see, everything that you're seeing happen. You got to learn a lot of different things, and I had a lot of great mentors. I had 2 or 3 mentors that always, two guys for sure that were really good fishermen that really hadn't fished a lot of tournaments in the last year, but they took some time off because of family and everything else. And they were just like, hey, we want to teach you what's going on, and that sort of gave me an idea of really what I needed to know. They both were great fishermen, but they were both good at different things. One was really good at deep fishing and understanding how the structure fishing and how to understand the graph and everything else, and the other was really good at flipping shallow and doing a lot of that stuff. And so I learned from the best that I felt like, some of the best in Indiana. That it was sort of, I had so many people help me, and so many things, I just kept on fishing, and that I think it was partially from those mentors, partially from my dad, partially from there's so many things that played so much of a factor in what happened.
That being said, when we met and you were talking with Ish about the business side of tournament fishing and stuff like that. Are there other anglers that have kind of volunteered information and just tried to help you develop and understand the business side of the business?
Yeah, number one, my biggest mentor when I started growing up, as far as when I was 18, the professional mentor was Joe Thomas. Joe, I could call Joe up and be like, hey, I have something going on. I was working with a deal. As soon as I started fishing professionally, and I necessarily wouldn't call Joe for, what I was doing as far as fishing, but it was all about business advice, because Joe's one of the best. I still one of my role models as far as how he conducts himself, how he sets everything up, and he always has. He's just one of the best promoters out there, on and off the water. And so I had one of the best out there to talk to anytime as a mentor, and he would say, hey, I would tell him, what I was looking at, or if a company came to me, or if I came to a company, and would set it up to where I at least, presented the package right, or or if I accepted the deal, if it was worthwhile accepting. And so that was I was already way ahead of the game for that, being young and already having someone that's so established and understood the business world of fishing so well, and having that right there, one phone call anytime I needed that to happen, or anytime I needed to talk to him and find out what's going on, it was right there.
Oh, that's great.
It is. With your win in 2012, Jacob, and coming so close here again in 2013, and being at such a young age, what's the future hold for you? Where do you see yourself going in the next few years with the FLW, BASS, television, endorsements? Where are you going to go? What's the path? You've basically reached a summit at such a young age. What are the plans?
Really, I haven't decided what I want to do. I'm fishing the Bass Opens. I'm 9th in points as of right now, and I have one more event to go. I would definitely like to qualify for the Elite Series and fish the Elite. I think that's something that, obviously winning the Forestwood Cup is unbelievable, but you can never be satisfied as an angler, and I'd love to qualify for the Classic and have a shot at that Classic. So I was thinking about obviously fishing the Elites. If I qualify, I'll fish the Elites next year. I also might, try to fish both FLW and the Elites. It's just going to depend on my schedule and how hectic it is. So it just sort of depends. I really, it's up in the air right now. A lot depends on this last tournament, what I'm going to do the rest, this next year. But I surely would want to fish as many tournaments as possible.
That's really cool. We're definitely going to be following. I just hit you up on Twitter at Jacob's on Twitter for everybody that's listening. He's at Wheeler Fishing. I just hit you up on Twitter there, Jacob. You can also reach Jacob on jacobwheelerfishing.com. And I think you're on Facebook also, Jacob, unless I'm mistaken.
I am. Definitely go on my Facebook page.
We get you hooked up on Facebook.
Yeah, I have a contest right now going on that I'm giving away a lot of the baits that I caught the actual fish on during the Cup. I have a frog that I signed, autographed, a Spro frog that I caught pretty much all my fish on, including some of the Trigger X products that I caught my fish on in the Cup and everything else. But the exact frog, I caught every single fish from day 1 through 3 until it tore up, so that's how many fish I caught on it. But I have a contest right now, so go on my Facebook page, like it, and share it, and see what it's definitely something. If somebody wanted to have something, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, Mike just entered now. I think he wants a piece of that frog. So
yeah, I just entered the contest, Jacob. All right.
Hey,
okay,
listen, we really appreciate you taking the time coming onto the show tonight. It's great of you to come on and talk to us. And
about in between culling fish.
Yeah, in between culling fish.
Yeah, I was calling them out. I was just trying to figure it out. Looking for that one more big one. We call them kickers down here. You guys call them lunkers up there. Hey, same thing, big fish.
Is there anybody you want to say thank you to? Any sponsors you want to plug?
Of course, I got to take the time. Fatheads Eyewear is my title sponsor, so for all the folks out there listening, that's why I wear the sunglasses, and they have a lot of different sunglasses, ranging from $30 some pairs of sunglasses like the Slash XLs, and then all the way up to the Knuckle Dusters and Knuckle Dusters XLs. But they're a great they're a great company, they're a great pair of sunglasses. But check them out because they're pretty good, and they're growing and they're getting bigger and bigger.
I understand. Awesome. We understand you're an E-Tech brother like us.
Yes, you better believe it. I put that thing through heck this week at the Red River. I ran through. I mean, if you've seen what I went through, you'd be like, no, you didn't. I'd be like, yeah. I'll tell you how much stuff I went through. I bet 4 props while I was fishing in the event. 4.
Wow.
4. 4 of them. So I was plowing through stuff, and that E-Tech never missed a beat, not at all. Didn't have to worry about it. Start that joker up and keep going. It was unbelievable. It was really the best. That was a big thing, to me, is having something that I can depend on and off on the water when I can get that out of my mind, worrying about my engine starting and getting back to the weigh-in, so I can make that last cast that might win me in the tournament. And I can have total confidence in my E-Tech doing that.
Well, that's great, Jacob. We're a big fan of the E-Tech Sioux. We run them up here, and we love them. Listen, like Scotty said to you, we're really, really appreciative of the fact that you took the time out tonight and during your tournament. You gotta let us know where you finished in this tournament while you're doing the show. We gotta know. Anybody looking to follow Jacob, you can look him up at jacobwheelerfishing.com. He's on Twitter at Wheeler Fishing. And look him up on Facebook also. Look for Jacob Wheeler. You can go give him a like. He's a great guy, great young talent coming up here in fishing. He's a lot of fun to watch. And if you get a chance to watch his interviews, watch him because he's a really entertaining guy and a fun guy to listen to, as you can hear from this interview. Jacob, have yourself a great weekend. Again, thanks on behalf of all the listeners. Thanks very much for showing up on the show tonight. We'll definitely be back in touch for you to get back on this show.
Definitely. Thank you guys so much for the opportunity.
All right. You take care now.
All right. Yeah, I'm going.
All right. Bye-bye.
What a great young guy, eh?
Great young guy. Very well spoken.
Yeah. That's the future of fishing.
That's what I was getting to also.
Yeah.
He grew up in it. He knew from a very young age that's something that he wanted to do.
Yeah. Yeah. And for guys out there listening, and we know a lot of them, right, that are always looking for, what's it take to fish at that level? You listen to the way that guy talks.
How can you compete against that?
Well,
really?
No, but that's you might not have that type of disposition and ability.
But it's all about
skills
sacrifice.
Right now.
I mean, he sacrificed a couple years.
That's it.
Early on,
like he said, when guys were out doing this, he was out fixing lures. He was tying line, and you know something. He was learning.
Some of us are chasing tail. Others are chasing greenbacks. And
yeah. Well, what do you mean by chasing? Like chasing, like whitetails, right?
Well, kind of no, yeah, like the little deer.
Yeah.
The little deer on 2 legs.
Jacob, sacrificed. He did what he had to do. He put in the time. But the soft skills that this young man has, all right, he's been taught by some of the best on how to deal with the public, how to speak in public, how to represent his sponsors, and that
is the key.
The key.
We've been over this many times on this show.
That is the key. You
can win tournaments or not even win tournaments.
That's it.
But if you're well-spoken.
Yeah, the way this young man carries himself is the way you have to be. He's a professional. He talks like a professional, and he's very, very well-spoken.
Let's take a commercial before we do our outro. And
most definitely.
Okay.
Evinrude outboard motors with E-Tech technology are designed to keep you on the water doing what you enjoy and not sitting in the shop. 3 years or 300 hours before you need to service your Evinrude E-Tech power plant. 2-stroke power combined with the economy of a 4-stroke. For those dedicated to water, power, fishing, and fun. Evinrude, official motor sponsor of Mike and Scott's BS Session.
So as you heard, Jacob's an E-Tech brother.
And he put that thing through the ringer. 4 props. 4 props, 1 tournament?
What the heck?
That's crazy. And the lower unit stayed intact?
Stayed intact.
1 piece?
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
But definitely what these guys do.
But that's a testament to Evinrude, People are saying this or that. Listen, they're trying their best to put the perfect package together.
Sure.
Now,
look.
This new lower unit.
Yeah, is bulletproof.
It seems to be
4 props.
4 props. If it can handle 4 props.
And these guys, if anybody who's never been to any of these events, Scotty, you don't understand how these guys pound a boat.
Well, this is their.
You've got to see it to believe it.
Yeah. This is their tool. It's a tool.
It's an office on the water
every day. He's on the water today.
That's it. And he is going to run this boat and run it. It's a fishing tool. It is not shine it up and keep it pretty all the time. It's get it running, get it going, and get it moving, and get to work. So, again, like Scotty said, testimony again to the product that E-Tech and Evinrude and these guys, what they're putting out there, superb. Shout out, speaking of E-Tech tonight, shout out to all our buddies, Scotty, Team Evinrude from the Rude crew in Montreal here, Jill Johnson, Cynthia Bichette, Pierre Ouellette, great bunch of the Evinrude
Maple
family.
Grove Marine, Claude Castonguay.
Claude, I heard Claude lost some weight.
Yeah, he's coming back now.
Yeah?
He's starting to feel
Find
a little
his way
bit
back?
better. Yeah,
all right,
yeah.
Good. We got Ed up at Paddle Tales. Got to like Ed, except for the stories. We got to do something about Ed's stories. We got to get him some new material.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Rich Lauer at Navionics and Wayne at the Boys at Bennett's. We've been giving out your gift certificates this year, Wayne, and the people here just love them. Thanks for your support. Always appreciated.
Scott over at Zico Shoes.
Yep.
Great job.
Yep.
You're doing a lot of hard work getting these shoes available for everybody up here in Canada. So.
For sure. Gary over at Fishing Tech, the Goose. He's crazy.
Gary the Goose? Is that what you
Gary
call
the
him?
Goose.
Okay.
We call him the Goose.
I see.
And Gary's still busy, still doing installs. He doesn't
have time to fish.
The guy he doesn't.
I was over there. He was doing like 3 jobs at the same time. He was under a boat, on a boat, under another boat.
Yeah, and he's trying to think of his next tournament at Renegade.
Come on.
It's a tough. He's having a tough season, but he's busy. And let me tell you, this is the guy. This is your man. Jean-Marc and Diane Desrochers, we'll see you in Bay Missisquoi. Those are 2 of my great volunteers. I saw Jean-Marc today. He was out on the St. Lawrence River in the downpour. Caught himself some good bass. Came by the house to say hi. Good seeing him. Nice St. Croix stickers on the side of that rig.
Steve Bosley.
Yeah.
Nice to hear from you the other day.
I
know he went through a surgery.
What?
Yeah, he went in for surgery.
Really?
Yeah. So he had a couple lumps removed.
Oh, those are called he had those removed?
He had those removed like 30 years ago.
Okay.
Those ones are long gone.
Those lumps are long gone.
Those ones are long gone. These are 2 other...
Ooh, you had me worried there.
Yeah, no, those were long gone.
Okay. So she took those and hung them on the mirror of her car.
Yeah, exactly. So he went in for surgery just last week. He's out and about.
Doing well?
He's doing well. He's
Excellent.
doing pretty good.
Tell him, by the way, he keeps having these senior moments. He calls me
just
up.
like you today.
Well, okay, I had one.
Today,
it was
a big one.
No, but it's a reasonable one.
Hey, Scotty, call me later tonight. We'll talk about the show.
Well,
Mike, we have a show to do tonight.
Yeah, I know, but typically it's not tonight. So I had a reason for it.
Yes.
Steve keeps calling me and saying, "Where's my stuff?"
What's that?
And I keep saying, "Steve, send me the address, and I'll send you your stuff." And then it's like the Bugs Bunny show.
And it happened again.
And it calls me again. Last time he called me, I was on the canals on St. Francis. So, where's my stuff?
Well, and Steve, if you're listening,
I
need a price for a Sabre. I need a price for a P4. Please.
Steve's, I don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? He's so busy now. He's a movie star.
We need 3 quotes. I need 3 quotes.
Yeah. Want a quote? To be or not to be?
That's not the quote I was looking for.
Okay. Sponsor recognition tonight, as we said, Claude Castonguay, Benoit Bland, Derek over at Maple Grove Marine. Way to go, boys. Keep it going. Paddle Tails Tackle. They talk bass fishing and the Eagle S2 slider nets. Let the revolution begin.
Navionics, get home.
I was waiting to see you read that.
Yeah, you changed it.
I did, just to screw you up.
Yeah, it worked.
Yeah. They start where the road ends.
You're going to say,
getting you home on
exactly. On both land and water. But
I changed it on you.
I see it. You're trying to confuse me.
Power pole. Nothing holds your boat stronger than the power pole anchors. And speaking of the power pole anchors, Mr. Lane and Mr. Polanic in the contention up on Lake Erie. On Lake Erie.
Mustang Survival. They save lives for a living. Go check out MustangSurvival.com.
And Fishing Tech, we talked to you about Gary Gosford, bringing you the tools you need to be the best. Our podcast is available at iTunes in the podcast section and blogtalkradio.com for your laptop or desktop. You can also listen to the show at www.fishin-canada.net.
And you can also find us on the WRVO radio network, located at www.renoviolaoutdoors.com.
That's a long address, eh? renoviolaoutdoors.com.
It's
sounds like a song.
Sketchy. You can get it.
It's a beautiful day.
Log in there. There's not only our fishing show, there's a whole bunch of other fishing shows. And it's 24/7 fishing talk.
It's sick. I put it on the truck, and it's the only thing I listen to.
I just put it on before going to bed, and I'm out like a light.
There you go. You can also see us on Spreaker.com. Look for the Fishing Canada radio show, and they also have a mobile app. Scotty, we are actually on time tonight. It's a miracle. Reno's going to love it.
Yeah.
Reno's going to love it. So, everybody, listen, we'll be back in 2 weeks with, we don't know who, but I'm sure
we do know who.
Well, maybe. Oh, yes, we do.
We do.
Tune in to listen to Mr.
Ish Monroe. September 6th.
Yes, Ish Monroe will be on the show, and I'm sure that will be a very entertaining interview.
Oh, I have a lot of questions for him.
Oh, so do I.
Yeah.
I have a lot of questions that don't pertain to fishing.
Oh, really? Oh, boy.
Look out, Ish. We're pulling all the stops.
Yeah, apparently.
All right, Scotty, let's wrap this one up. Let's punch the card.
Let's do it.
Tight lines, everybody.
This one's a wrap. We hope you enjoyed the show. You can subscribe on iTunes, the WRVO Network, Spreaker.com, www.blogtalkradio.com, and www.fishin-canada.net. See you next time for another BS session.